Now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, it is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. We'll have a look at how heavy rain could impact Lexington with a look at our forecast ahead.
Also on WKYT this morning, a driver accused of hitting and killing a Whitley County woman is to be in court today. We'll have details and an update on that case coming up.
And a Madison County man is asking for help getting back some priceless mementos that were stolen from him. That's ahead on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome in. It's Tuesday, August 2nd. We are off and rolling with the latest news on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. It is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day.
Going to keep you informed as to what's going on. Heavy downpours again possible. Here's Micah.
Yeah, we're seeing that down toward the southeast, but I'll tell you this, the good news here is this is moving pretty rapidly. Now, you'll get some heavy rain out of that, no doubt about it, down toward Hazard, and then work your way just south of that into Leslie County. The Hayden area, 421 is soaked. Hal Rogers Parkway is soaked too. That's moving east, so heads up, say, Knott County, heads up Letcher County and Pike County. Floyd County, more than likely, you'll actually be clipped by this. Southern Breathitt County picking up on the action too. And it's just a wet go at it down toward Corbin, Jackson, Frankfort, and Florence, and then back toward Louisville, Lexington. We're all dry at this moment, but still some bits and pieces of some showers here and there. But the heaviest part is right now in the southeast. It's trying to move on out. Listen, I'm gonna take you through your time. I'm gonna show you the forecast when you can expect the rain to move on out, and when we actually finally get some dry time. I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, and we'll see you then. Thank you very much.
A few streets briefly flooded in the Gardenside neighborhood in Lexington. Witnesses say someone tried to drive through a flooded parking lot off Lancel Road and got stuck. Firefighters were called out, but the water had gone down by the time crews got there. The driver got out safely without help. No injuries were reported in Lexington from any of this flooding. And in Pulaski County, a father and daughter had to be rescued from floodwater overnight. State police say a man got stuck in his car in high water on Norwood Mount Zion Road. They say he was worried that if he opened his door, the rising water would wash away his car with his 3-year-old daughter in the back seat. A trooper happened to be in the area and carried the little girl to safety and helped the driver as well.
Fortunate timing there. And a similar thing happened overnight in Anderson County. Dispatchers say a man got his truck stuck in high water on Hoop Hole Road. That's just off the Bluegrass Parkway near the Washington County line. He too was able to get out safely. In Powell County, it was a lightning strike that led to quite a mess in the neighborhood. Investigators there say lightning hit the gas substation of a pipeline near Winchester Road in Clay City. The owner of the pipeline, Kinder Morgan, says its emergency shutdown system was then activated and natural gas was safely vented into the air. But an oily residue also spewed into the air. Much of that landed around a nearby home and on the road. The woman who lives in the house says she now has a lot of cleaning up to do.
It's kind of aggravating having to clean everything, all the oil, and then worrying about my kids being outside in any of it, and also my outside animal as well.
Crews cleaned up the oily substance from the road. The EPA was also called out to the scene to take a look at the substance. Investigators do not think it has put anyone in danger. Now, remember, you can track the storms with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download that for free in the app or Google Play stores.
A driver accused of hitting and killing a Whitley County woman will be in court today.
Police say Sonia Askins was driving on Kentucky Highway 895 about a week ago when she crashed into 2 pedestrians, killing one of them. And WKYT's Mark Barber is at the live desk this morning with what we expect in court today. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. This is Sonia Askin's preliminary hearing, so the prosecution could call witnesses to testify for the first time about the deadly hit and run. Askins could also waive the hearing today and send the case straight to the grand jury. If that's the case, then the prosecutor will have 60 days to present their case to the grand jury. They, of course, determine whether there is enough evidence to pursue the murder charges against Askins. State police say she was driving under the influence of moonshine, oxycodone, and morphine when she crashed into 2 pedestrians on Highway 895 last week, killing one of them. State troopers say Askins stopped to ask if they were okay before driving off. 40-year-old Teresa Bennett did not survive. Her husband was walking with her and he was also hurt in the crash, but he is expected to be okay. Now, Askins will be back in court at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Again, there are a couple different ways this hearing could play out in court. So, of course, we will be right there, keeping you updated. So keep it right here on WKYT throughout the day. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Mark. A man who police say helped a teenager run away from her Laurel County home days before her body was found in Whitley County will head to court today. Skylar Barnett is charged with unlawful transaction with a minor and drug charges. He'll be arraigned on those charges this afternoon. Police say Barnett helped Kaylee Lockaby stay away from her family. Lockaby was reported missing by her foster parents on Friday. Later that night, police found her body near a home in Whitley County. Investigators still do not know Lockaby's cause of death.
A grand jury has indicted a Clark County woman nearly a year after a fire at her home. Anita Raleigh has been charged with wanton endangerment and arson after a fire caused damage to her Winchester home a year ago. Raleigh was arraigned on those charges yesterday. Investigators say Raleigh claimed the fire started on a kitchen stove, but they later figured out it actually started in a bedroom, and they think Raleigh set paper on fire during an argument. Investigators say there were multiple people in the home at the time, including her grandchildren. Well, it could help tens of thousands of felons in Kentucky. A new law allows some felons to have their convictions expunged.
But the process could be a little confusing, and that's why today one group is offering up some help on this. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in downtown Lexington.
Good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, if you're looking to get your records permanently sealed, then the Lexington Public Library is the place you're going to want to be tonight. In response to Kentucky's new felony expungement law, the library will hold a free expungement information session tonight at 6. The event is hosted by the Kentucky Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, the Department of Public Advocacy, Clean Slate Kentucky, and Legal Aid of the Bluegrass. This workshop is aimed at helping interested people understand and navigate the felony expungement process. The law is a result of House Bill 40, which was passed this year and allows judges to expunge certain low-level felonies if the applicant has abstained from criminal activity for a length of 5 years. Now, tonight's workshop at the library is expected to last about an hour and a half. There will also be one coming to Paducah this weekend on Saturday at noon. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
A crash caused a lot of damage over the weekend at a historic cemetery in Lexington. It happened at Cove Haven Cemetery on Whitney Avenue near Newtown Pike. Cemetery managers say a driver trying to get away from police ended up crashing his car into the cemetery's wrought iron fence. The crash also damaged a couple of headstones near the cemetery. Cove Haven Cemetery is more than 100 years old. Cemetery managers say it will cost thousands of dollars to repair all the damage.
Expenses like this are not things that we just have cash set aside for. So I am going to ask and hope that anybody out there that is willing to donate some time and material.
And we're not asking for a handout, we're asking for a hand up.
If you'd like to help, we have the cemetery's contact information on WKYT.com. A Central Kentucky woman badly injured in a cycling accident in France is improving. In a Facebook post, former state auditor Bob Babbage said his wife Laura is making progress at UK Hospital. He says she's able to open her eyes, follow basic commands, and sit up with assistance. She's expected to be in the ICU for a few more days before being transferred to another part of the hospital. Family members say Laura Babbage suffered a serious head injury last month while riding a bike in a competition that ran in conjunction with the Tour de France.
Hoping her recovery continues. A Richmond man is asking for help in getting back some priceless mementos that were stolen from his home. Kenny Bird says burglars took a couple of fire safes from his home, and inside one of those safes were some family pictures, flash drives of pictures, and other valuables that he says could never be replaced. Bird says he doesn't want to press charges. He just wants his photos back.
Basically, no questions asked. If they want to leave it at my doorstep, mail them to me without a return address, put them in my mailbox, just get them back to me. They really strike dear to my heart, these photos do.
Bird says his EKU class ring, high school championship rings, and other items like his passport were also in the safes. In addition to filing a police report, he says he has also checked in with local pawn shops, even some dumpsters in the neighborhood. Bird is offering a reward for information that will help him track down the photos, and we have his contact information on WKYT.com.
Kentucky State Police troopers are getting some pay raises. Those started kicking in yesterday as provisions in the new state budget took effect. State police hope the new raises will help hire more troopers. The raises also include a new pay scale that establishes specific pay rates for each rank based on year of service. Tonight is the first of 3 meetings focused on the construction of a new high school in Scott County. The county superintendent is asking for a tax increase to help pay for the $48 million construction of the Great Crossing High School. Tonight's meeting is at 7 o'clock in the John L. Hill Chapel at Georgetown College. The deadline for the decision is August 18th.
2 nonprofit organizations will be sharing a grant to provide fresh food to more people around central Kentucky. Food Chain provides food education and hands-on training, and Glean Kentucky gathers and redistributes extra fruits and vegetables from farmers to feed the hungry. The 2 organizations will share a $450,000 grant to expand their efforts in central Kentucky. Food Chain will build a teaching and processing kitchen at its West 6th Street location in Lexington.
That kitchen is going to allow us to provide a whole lot of cooking classes for our neighborhood, as well as to lightly process surplus food grown in Kentucky farms so that it's more consumable and shelf stable.
Glean Kentucky will use its share of the grant to expand its operations into more central Kentucky counties.
Kentucky American Water will host its 7th annual Waterfest Community Open House tonight in Lexington. The event explains how we get our drinking water. There will be tours of the treatment plant this year, plus activities for the kids. The event runs from 4:30 till 7:30 at the company's Richmond Road location. It is free and open to the public. So I didn't even know that they did this. And I'm highly interested in that. If I wasn't in bed at this hour, I would definitely go.
It's a good educational opportunity.
Yeah.
You certainly get to see.
We have an early bedtime.
Yeah, but you got to find out how the water is processed and and so forth, and taken from the Kentucky River. Time this morning is 5:41, and let's check traffic this morning and see what is going on out there. It's clean and green on our current traffic map. We have no reports of any major problems or delays. We'll switch now to the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live drive camera. And that's Harrodsburg and Waller. Take a look there,
That's
Rebecca.
fine.
Yeah, no reports of any early issues right now.
Still a whole lot more to come. Thanks so much for joining us here this morning. After 56 years of dog service, a Wisconsin police canines retiring. We'll have much more on that story coming up after Micah's forecast.
Still have some heavy downpours outside early this morning, but improvements are there. In the forecast, I'm going to show you where and when we move this stuff on out. That's coming up next. Defender Radar Network early this morning holding on to some of that heavy rain down toward the south and the east. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris getting you updated on what's going on early this morning. Flash flood warning still in effect for Clay County, Jackson, Laurel, Pulaski, and Rockcastle. That's not for all of those counties in terms of there's just parts of it. London, yes, you are in that. Corbin, not so much if you work your way down toward Whitley and Knox County. And then you head off toward Mount Vernon, Livingston, work your way down, say 25 and also 75. There's still some water there in northern Pulaski County, but you guys have really dried out the past hour or two, and more than likely this will be canceled before it hits that 8:30 mark, but the rest of us until 9 a.m. looks like that's going to continue until then. But this rain's moving pretty quickly. There's some good news to that. I know it's heavy rain at this moment in some sections of our southeastern viewing area, but it's moving pretty rapidly, and that's some good news. Whitesburg in about 10 to about 20 minutes, you can expect that to roll right through you. And that's some pretty heavy rain, too. So you're going to get at least half an inch out of this. Hyman Pippa passes. Back toward Alice Lloyd College is going to be getting in the mix very shortly if you're not already. Pikeville, I'd say another 30 minutes to an hour is when you can expect that. Some brief heavy downpours northbound into, say, Moorhead, Lakeview Heights across 60. Then work your way into Hillsboro and just south of Flemingsburg. That's where you're seeing some of that rain. So that up toward the north is no big deal. It's really down toward the southeast we're going to be watching rapidly. Decreasing. 8 a.m. Check this out, okay? Still some showers left over south of I-64. 9 a.m. That goes for you guys, too, down south. But look what happens as we get into the afternoon. Yeah, bits and pieces of a few light showers are developing right around noon, but none of that is really anything to worry about. And it drifts southbound. Look at 5 p.m. Now most of us are fully dry. So get deep into the afternoon, and we really dry some things on out. The best chance of rain is no doubt down toward the Howell Rogers Parkway. That's the best chance. Mountain Parkway, looks like most of that opportunity will fade away for rain as we hit about the 1 o'clock p.m. time frame. So you get into it the next few days. We're drying some things out later on this afternoon. We're doing that on Wednesday, mainly dry, upper 80s. That's great news. How about Thursday and Friday? Still mostly dry. Only small chances of rain there Thursday and Friday. Friday's a little better opportunity, about 40%, but nonetheless, it's much better than 60, 70% like we had yesterday. So there's some good news for us the next few days. Unfortunately, we can't fully rule rain out, and the unfortunate part about that is if anything goes up, it will have the opportunity to put down heavy downpours, and that's not good for us. A lot of us need to be dried out, and a lot of us picked up tremendous amounts of rain. Guys, yesterday, it's 2 to 3 inches of rain for a lot of locations, especially Winchester. Winchester got the brunt of it. There's no doubt about that in some spots. People couldn't even leave their house because of some of these creeks and streams overflowing. And that's been the case the past week, maybe even 2. And it looks like we'll actually get a break from that the next few days.
Yeah.
There's some good news. We need it.
Yeah, we do.
You're just clicking along, and then all of a sudden, as you said, these problems.
Yes,
it's sort of amazing, but that's the reason we've been kind of keeping the flag up about this situation. Right. 5:48 our time this morning. Police in Wisconsin are saying goodbye to a long-serving member of their department, Ralph the dog.
Ralph was the dog that helped relaunch the department's canine unit, so officers held a retirement ceremony for him. At 10 years old, he didn't let his old age get in the way of his police work. He finished in first place at this year's U.S. Police Canine Association's National Drug Detection Trial with a perfect score and helped La Crosse, Wisconsin police make 2 big drug busts in February. Ralph will be spending his retirement at home with his now former partner. Ralph is turning in his collar and badge after 8 years of duty for the La Crosse Police Department. Or 56 dog years, so that explains it, Bill. That was in that team.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Well, that's interesting. Certainly, he's going out while he's on top, right?
Love it.
Winning those awards right there at the end of his career.
Very
It's good to have you with us on WKYT this morning.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
We'll be checking traffic again. We have some health news and a lot more, and it sure is good to have you with us up and at it on this Tuesday on WKYT. Good morning and welcome back in. WKYT this morning live here at 5:53 on your Tuesday.
Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
In Clark County, several inches of rain turned some creeks into raging rivers. Much of the flooding was in the old Boonesboro Road area, not far from Winchester. Some people ended up being stranded in their homes for a long time because of high waters.
A Southern Kentucky minister and business owner accused in a high-profile murder case will head to court today for a status hearing. Kenneth Keith is charged with killing 3 people during a robbery at a Danville pawn shop back in September of 2013. Today in court, we could learn when this murder case will go to trial.
A new law allows some felons to have their convictions expunged, and it could help tens of thousands of felons in Kentucky. But the process can be confusing and take a while. Tonight, there will be a free information session at the Lexington Public Library on this new law. That meeting will start at 6 o'clock.
And topping your national headlines this morning, the CDC is dispatching an emergency response team to a South Florida neighborhood at the center of a Zika outbreak.
Yesterday, federal health officials issued a travel advisory for pregnant women to stay away from the Wynwood and Edgewater communities north of Miami. That's after more cases of the virus were discovered there. The state's governor says there are now 14 cases of locally transmitted Zika in the Sunshine State, affecting 12 men and 2 women.
Donald Trump's feud with the parents of a Muslim American soldier who died in Iraq continues to grow. Republican Senator John McCain and war veterans joined the chorus of condemnation Monday after Trump attacked the couple for criticizing him at the Democratic National Convention. President Obama added his voice to the debate at an event in Atlanta yesterday, saying in part, "No one has given more for our freedom than our Gold Star families."
Investigators are learning more about the pilot of that hot air balloon that crashed in Texas, killing all 16 people who were on board. Court records show that Alfred Skip Nichols had at least 4 prior drunk driving convictions and numerous consumer complaints against him. The cause of the crash has yet to be determined.
In health news this morning, researchers at Princeton University developing a new approach to identify autism-related genes.
They say analyzing a brain map increased the number of genes that they could identify with a possible link to the disorder from 65 to 2,500. and that may pave the way for faster and cheaper autism genetic research. Doctors at Johns Hopkins University report a generic biologic drug that treats rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and psoriasis appears to be as safe and effective as brand name drugs. Biologics are made from living cells and potentially could save the healthcare system billions of dollars.
There's new data out on the effects of concussions on children. Researchers say a third of the kids they tracked experienced a spike in concussion symptoms days after the initial injury, especially after returning to school. Doctors emphasize the importance of resuming activities gradually. Let's get a check right now on today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic, see what's happening out there on the roads.
Here are the current drive times into Lexington or from Lexington to these locations: Nicholasville, Versailles, Frankfort. Everybody about an average time this morning. Georgetown, Paris, Winchester, same. It's a good ride in from Richmond if you're coming out of Madison County this morning. Here is the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live drive cam. This one at Manowar and Todd's Road this morning. And some folks already on the move out there. The early birds getting where they're going on a Tuesday. No reports of any delays right now. This is a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Days. We keep you ahead of what's potentially going to happen.
Yeah, and obviously here to help us with that is Micah.
Yeah, we had some flash flood warnings yesterday. We still have a couple of down south into northern portions of Pulaski County. It does not include Somerset, but London is included into that one, and now it's actually taken off there at southern Jackson County. So things are looking improved in this morning as this rain tries to move on out. I'll show you when all the rain moves on out, and really nice forecast for the next few days coming up.